Pilate as a Roman character in the Gospel of Mark by Brianna Alfredo. In this video, I'm focusing on Pilate as a Roman character in Mark to show how the Gospel presents Roman authority as powerful on the surface, but ultimately weak, reactive, and unable to stand up to Jesus. Pontius Pilate wasn't just a random character in the Passion story. He was the Roman governor of Judea, which meant he represented Rome directly. His role wasn't religious leadership, but political control. He was responsible for enforcing Roman law and maintaining order, especially during high tension moments like the Passover. What's important is that Pilate isn't portrayed as unusually cruel. He's portrayed as a normal Roman authority doing exactly what the empire expects him to do. During Passover, Jerusalem was extremely crowded, which made Roman leaders nervous. Any talk about kingship could sound like a rebellion. So when Jesus was called King of the Jews, Rome wouldn't hear that as a harmless religious language. It sounded politically dangerous to them. Mark shows that Jesus becomes a Roman concern not because of violence, but because of how easily his message could challenge the control Rome had on the people. In Mark chapter 15, Jesus is brought before Pontius Pilate, placing him under Roman authority. Pilate questions Jesus, but doesn't seem convinced that Jesus is truly guilty. Instead, Pilate repeatedly turns to the crowd, showing that political pressure matters more to him than the truth. Mark's portrayal suggests that Roman power here is reactive and fearful, not confident or morally grounded. Mark isn't showing what happened, he's showing that Roman authority cannot act justly without fear. Crucifixion was a Roman punishment designed to humiliate and control. It wasn't just about killing someone, it was about making an example out of them. By sentencing Jesus to crucifixion, Pilate enacts Rome's most visible form of power. In Mark's Gospel, the cross becomes the clearest symbol of how Roman power operates through fear and shame. Mark is intentionally ironic. Rome looks powerful and Jesus looks defeated. But the Gospel flips that expectation. The cross, which symbolized shame in the ancient world, becomes the place where God's authority is revealed. Mark invites readers to see that the empire believes it is maintaining order while actually participating in injustice. This moment reveals Mark's main point. Roman power claims control, but Jesus exposes its limits. In the larger New Testament story, Pilate represents the power of empire. But the resurrection shows that Rome doesn't get the final word. Even though the empire controls the cross, it doesn't control the outcome. In this way, Pilate becomes part of Mark's argument about what kind of power ultimately lasts. Through Pontius Pilate, Mark shows how empire looks powerful but is actually limited. Jesus, through suffering and faithfulness, reveals a completely different kind of authority. Pilate doesn't just end Jesus' story, he exposes the weakness of empire when confronted with God's kingdom. Pilate's role in Mark isn't accidental. He represents an empire that can punish, but not rule rightly.